I've heard that multitasking is not even a thing. And I just want to reflect on that a little bit. Because I think, whenever I think of multitasking, of course you think about doing two things at once. But is it really two things at once? Or is it switching really rapidly between those two things? That's like really interesting in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure there is an answer to that, but okay, let me just say the answer actually, that I think is the answer. I really do believe that it's just rapidly switching attention from one thing to another, because I've seen, there was this guy called Nick who talked about task switching velocity. Sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty interesting and pretty cool when you think about it. He drew it out so it's easier to look at, but let me just try and explain it to the best of my ability. So just imagine this. You have two tasks. Like this is task number 1, this is task number 2, this is just task number 1 and task number 2. And then you have then you first start out on task number 1 and you're here, right? But whenever you switch to task number 2, people imagine that you can just stop. Like if this is time and this is the tasks, people just imagine that you can just stop and just just at the moment switch to another task. But in reality, it's not how it works, to be honest, because it has velocity. Like you have to, because your brain is wired in a different way doing one task than another. So if you, let's say you clean the house, right? You've seen I don't know, it's like movies or skits where you have a mother who's multitasking. She's like cooking the dinner, feeding the baby, talking to the phone, and then she out of nowhere uses her phone to mix up the food or whatever, because she has to use the brain in different ways to do different tasks. It's just self-explanatory in that type of sense, and it makes sense that you cannot just switch from one thing to another, and it has velocity to it. So the more things you constantly switch back and forth to, the more it actually is less you're less in that thing and in that moment, and you're okay. The reason I'm a little paranoid because I'm in the car, people are watching. I don't fucking care. Let me just do my thing. So okay, there's not instantly changing from one thing to another. You have to get into it, get into the flow, right? Get into the flow, and that usually takes 5 minutes tops, I think, or at least 3 minutes to get into the flow. And if you just look at it from that perspective, if you're in theory, if you're switching from one task to another, where you're on one of the tasks less than 5 minutes at a time, you're basically in the switching motion all the time. And if you're switching all the time, it creates first of all it uses energy, because you have to mentally switch from one thing to another. But you also have to there's no number 2. There's just number 1. Actually, there's just number 1. So that just makes sense. It's draining. And yeah, actually number 2 is that you don't get to focus on put all of your efforts into that one task. And if so yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to talk about that because I found it to be interesting, because then his solution were to just bulk things up throughout the day. So if instead of having 2 work sessions, so you work and then you work on this one thing, and then you work on another for 30 minutes, and then you work on the first thing again for another 30 minutes. Instead of doing that, just do the thing you're supposed to do the whole time throughout for the whole day, and then just stop with that until the next day, and don't and then do other things. So just essentially having less context switching. That's what he called it, actually, context switching. So yes, that's pretty much it. I just want to talk about that. It's interesting. It's just top of mind. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.